Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. Welcome to day 3. Come on in, let's have you. Come on in, let's have you. I really wish I'd tidied up a little bit in the background here because I was changing my daughter earlier and you can see a little changing bed. Come on in and say hello. Say hello. It's Wednesday if you're watching live. If you're a replay hero, I hope you've had a great day. But let me know how you're doing. Let me know who's here. Can I remind you that if you are on Facebook, please allow StreamYard to let it show you show me your name, because from where I am, what I can see is a Facebook user. But when I can see people around it, I can see that Shelley's here and Susie's here and Kath's here and Shana's here. Do you like my Harry Styles shirt? I thought, do you know what? I thought, special night calls for special attire. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to wear my Harry Styles shirt. Victoria's in El Paso, Texas. Welcome, Victoria. Thanks, Holly. Hi, Benny. It's good to see ya. Hey, Susie's here as well. I'll just give people a couple of minutes to get cozy and get comfy and come on in and have this time for you. You don't have to be wearing an over the top shirt, but I was saying to you, wasn't I, like on, was it Monday, that I've been so looking forward to this free series because it's been the first time I've been able to like get amongst you, my people. And, I really feel like it's absolutely just shivered my timbers in all the right ways, So welcome. We are on our hat trick. We're on session 3 of 3. We're on session 3 of 3 this evening. And as always, I hope that you've got a notepad and pen, or if you've not got a notepad and pen, perhaps you can tap away into your phone app or wherever you keep your notes, because as always, you're going to want to make notes tonight. You're absolutely going to want to make notes tonight because it's day 3 of 3 and it's all about sending up your flair. We're going to be exploring something which is quite juicy tonight, hence the garb. Thanks, Kath. Hence the garb. And that's about our life force, what it is to feel vital, what it is to feel awake in our lives. People say connected with our lives. What does it mean? It means to feel powered up. And that doesn't mean you've got to be racing around like Speedy Gonzales or anything like that. But it's about feeling awake and conscious in your life. On our first night together on Monday, we talked about dusting off the cobwebs. And that's what I want for you more than ever, because it's so easy to feel a bit sluggish, isn't it? It's so easy to get caught in the same old. Well, I don't want that for you. I want you to be being driven by your life force and be lighting your life up from every possible corner. So we're going to look at the role of self-esteem in that today, but I'm going to ask you to step into a bit of main character energy. Have you heard the kids talking about that on TikTok? I'm going to ask you to step into a bit of main character energy today and put yourself in the middle. More will be revealed. But we're going to be looking at today how we define things like self-esteem, how we can tap into a bit more courage, to a bit more understanding of ourselves. Of course, there are going to be some mini exercises. And at the very end, I'm going to share with you my snazzy new look of my membership, but there's plenty of time to get there. This is about you. And as I hope you've come to expect, I've got lots I want to share in the time that I have available. So let's do an important recap, which is no matter how you compare yourself, it is so important that you become conscious of the effect it's having on your life, and so that you can take back your joy. And that's been the real promise of our time together over the free training series, because it's not just comparing to other people that catches us out, is it? Oh no, it's not just comparing to other people that catches us out. It's comparing to who we think we should be, that almost ideal version of ourselves. It's also comparing to who we used to be and what we used to do. And I know through my conversations with you this week that we all know what it's like to be in any of those spots. And in fact, in the Facebook group, I put a poll up and hundreds of people were saying it's all of the above. They were saying, I can't choose, Lucy. It's all of the above. So with that in mind, we have to go really, really gently with ourselves. So it is possible to arrest it. But all you have to do, and if it was only this easy, but the thing that we have to do is to start living completely wholly, motivated what is completely unique for you, and helping life rearrange itself. And we'll get into the detail of that too. But I don't want you to feel like you have to be anything else. I don't want you to feel like you have to go away and pretend and like completely, mask who you are. I mentioned main character energy at the beginning of the session, and that doesn't mean that you've got to go and be like an extrovert or move somewhere that looks like a movie scene, or always be living all out, always be living kind of outside your comfort zone, etc. No, this is about being the main character, about activating what's inside you right now, even if it's felt a little bit sleepy, even if you're a bit like, oh my God, I'm not sure what's inside me, I need you to remind me. Well, don't worry, because that's what I'm here to do, my darling. That's what I am here to do. And not only remind you of who you are, but remind you of what feels true for you, what feels important to you, and then what are your next steps to get that, bearing in mind how you can be vitally connected with your life. Now, let me just walk us down memory lane a little bit, because we've packed a lot into these sessions this week. On Monday, we were all about dusting off the cobwebs of our inner happy. And as part of that, we looked at how we achieve that good mood momentum. We looked at how we achieve good mood momentum, and very much kind of answering that promise of dusting off the cobwebs. We were able to give ourselves a bit of zest, weren't we? And get things moving a little bit. Yesterday, we entered the calm zone, and we looked at how we could access inner harmony. We looked at how we could push the weight of the world just a little bit further out, so that we had room to breathe, we had room to move, we had room to be and decide how we're feeling and what we wanted to be doing, instead of feeling like swept away with what the world, society, our diaries are wanting us to do. So by now we've already had a little bit of taste of the shifts that are possible. But today's about your life force. Today's about sending up a flare. Let's, just so there are no assumptions, let me share with you what I mean when I talk about sending up a flare. So you might have seen these on like the National Geographic or documentary programs, and when it's kind of like, it's very, very dark, and it might be on like an Arctic landscape, and it's very, very dark, and people want to see, what's around, or perhaps there's a ship out at sea and it wants to be noticed by another vessel. They plug in the flare to the flare gun, they hold it up like that, don't they, and they shoot it, and it shoots up into the sky, powers up into the sky, and explodes with light and often colour as well. And it lights up and illuminates the whole sky. And that's what's so special about the life force that we have, because that's what it feels like. When we connect with that, we feel like we can be seen for miles, we can see for miles. And if we didn't have that life force, it would just be a case of we put the flare up and go, it would just flop forward. And that's not what we want, is it? That's not what we want. We want to be completely in our own light. We want to feel like we are vital and we are connected. We want to not be flopping and plopping on the floor in front of us, because I know when I am connected with my own life force, I'm a better friend. I'm a loyal friend. I provide the best giggles and presents for people. I'm there for them. I'm a great mum, because I'm really, really present. I've got a 6-month-old, and I know that when I'm in my life force and feel charged up, I know she can feel that. I know she can feel it. I'm a better partner, because I listen better and I'm clear on what my needs are, rather than like asking someone else to meet them, or I can certainly ask for their help to meet them there too. I'm a great business owner, because I make clear and vital decisions as well. And add any role, that all of us have different roles. We wear different tiaras through the day. God, if I had a tiara on, that wouldn't that be amazing? We wear different tiaras through the day, through the week. We have many, many different roles that we do play there. But I'll tell you what, when you're connected with your life force, just like when I'm not comparing. I am absolutely not comparing, because I am connected to me. So again, it's about looking at using those flares that are within us, grabbing onto them. Now, one of them is, we've been quite clever this week, one of them, when it comes to being connected with our life force, so we're not comparing, is about our self-focus. So I talked to us a little bit about this over the course of the last couple of days or so, because it's absolutely, these are the core pillars of my work. It's about helping people with self-focus. So we've been covering this, been quite clever, like I say, we've been covering this over the last few days or so. We've been looking at how we get our blinkers on so that we can take back our attention, take back our time, take back our energy, and through that, feel the boost of clarity, feel the boost of our mood, actually. Okay, because that's something that people that don't compare themselves people that compare themselves have in common, is that they very, very rarely feel rushed, or like they're not in control, not in charge of their time. So we've been quite clever with that this week already. You can tick off that pillar. But the next one I want to share with you as that flair is about self-confidence. Now, I do see a pattern. And I will first of all say, before I kind of get into the explainer here and we do the exercise together as well, because there's always fun homework with me, darlings. You've come to expect that by now. But when it comes to our self-confidence, I absolutely think it's a scale. I don't think it's something that people are necessarily born with and keep the whole time. I've talked about this a bit in my book, and I've talked about it on social media too, and I'm sure I've talked about it to you as well, in that we sometimes have this tyrannous energy that we have to be self-confident, when actually there's a confidence scale, and at every given day we're going to have a bit more, and we're going to be able to use that as fuel. We're going to use that confidence and our autonomy to go forward, even if that go forward is shuffle, small step, shuffle, small step. Because we feel confident, we're able to act on that. So it's not about being arrogant. It's not about being a show off. And it's not about having to remain in this hyper state of faking it and being bold. Confidence is something which is like a fuel supply. We have to feed it. We have to look after it. And we know when we're in a state of really good confidence, because things happen like we don't need validation from other people. We don't overthink things. We know that it's nice to have a bit of external praise. It's nice for people to say, oh, that's great, or you look fantastic, or I loved what you said there, or how did you do that? Fantastic, good on you. It's lovely to hear that, but we don't need it. We don't hang on the words of others, because we have what it takes inside, so that we are able to take action. Because that's the thing about confidence, it's a fuel, it powers forward. Can you hear one of my golden retrievers just giving me a bit of helpful encouragement there? Mate, I'm talking to my friends here, we're on about flares anyway. Anyway, if we don't have confidence, if we're not using that fuel, then we tend to rely on things just happening by accident, or other people taking the reins for us. That's not helpful either, is it? That's the highway to being stuck. That's the highway to being stuck in one place. So, like I say, confidence, it takes cultivating. Don't give yourself a hard time if you don't have loads of it. You just need a little bit quite often, and you can power through towards what's most important to you. And if you need a reminder of what's most important to you, I'll take you back to Monday when we did the snow globe exercise. I loved how much you enjoyed that one. We got to see around our goals, didn't we? About what excites us the most. We got to zoom in on those. And it's like keeping that fire going. So like I say, even if we're edging towards them, at least we're taking action. So what I hope is really, really clear, it's so important we get to define and decide what confidence is for us. So here's our first bit of homework, team. Here's our first bit of homework. How disgusting. Sorry about that. Okay. So because it's not being about being an extrovert, it's not, like I say, being about like in this constant state of like hype. Answer me this. How would you know if you had really great self-esteem, really great confidence? How would you know if your self-esteem, your confidence was at a 10? How would you know? How would you know? What would it feel like? What would be happening in your life? And feel free to, obviously, first place to go is your journal, because this is about you. But second place to come is the chat, so you can tell me, so that you can tell me. If you were a 10, how would you be feeling? What would it look like? How would you be acting? How would you be behaving? I'm just going to shut this door. Excuse me. You keep writing that down. I'll put the doggy out. You'll have heard me joke about this before in my sessions, when sometimes I get a bit doggy interrupting, and it's that you wouldn't get Brene Brown doing that, but I've got to keep it real. I don't want the doggies interfering anymore. Okay, so I was asking you to look at how would you define if your self-esteem, your self-confidence was at an actual 10, okay? So then bearing in mind that insight that you have for yourself and that it's come to you and what might be appearing to you, how would you know if there had been an improvement in your self-esteem and your confidence? How would you know if there had been an improvement? How would you know if there'd been an improvement? Yeah. Nicola's saying, I love dogs and keep it real. Nick, I'm glad I put trousers on, love. Wouldn't have been able to hide, would I? So how would you know if there'd be an improvement for you? Because again, this doesn't have to be about big gulps. It doesn't have to be about massive forcing steps forward. We have to define it for ourselves. Because if we don't define it for ourselves, how can we measure ourselves by it? How can we be really kindly accountable with ourselves to it as well? Okay, Kath said, I wouldn't hold back or wait my turn if I was 10 out of 10. Yeah, Kath, you'd be in there, you'd be going for it. Shelley says, I'd be able to make decisions and stop procrastinating. I'd move my business forward rather than worrying about the opinions of others. That's a biggie, Shelley. That is such a process. Thank you for sharing that. I know that a lot of people are going, yeah, I really relate to that as well. Benny says, I would have more time, exclamation mark. As I wouldn't second guess myself, I wouldn't seek external validation or be comparing myself. Susie said, I wouldn't feel the need to justify myself or seek external validation. Thank you so much for sharing that, Susie, because I really relate to that too. I know that when my confidence is having a bit of a wobble, I over-explain, I go around the houses. I know that my lovely colleague, Momoko that I work with, I'll leave a long voice note and I'll say, so all this to say, and actually what I really need to say, like what confident me would say, or all this to say, or actually to summarize, this is what I mean. But it can take me a real while to get there. So I really relate to that, Susie. Gorgeous Shana said, validation would come from myself, not others, and I trust in my decision making more. And improvement, feeling that more consistently. Yes, I hear what you mean there. Just that little bit of a lift. That little bit of a lift, noticing it happening just a little bit more, but having a really, really big difference. It's like the difference that makes all the difference, isn't it? Love that, Shana. I'd be okay with someone saying no to what I was doing or saying, I only want the ones with me who get it. I'm not taking rejection personally, Lorna said here, would be a real winner for me right now. Yeah. And being able to, that's it, separate ourselves from it, seeing it as just information as opposed to a personal reflection on us. I do feel quietly confident though. Excellent, Lorna. That's it. We want that fire staying up, keep it stoked up. Patty said, I would feel less anxious and more relaxed. That's it, isn't it? I totally get that, darling, because when we are feeling a bit of wobble, especially when we're in comparing mode, or it might be a wobble for any other reason, there's so much energy that goes into anticipating and thinking and reflecting and then going back over what we've done. And we tie ourselves in knots, don't we? We tie ourselves in knots. So thank you for sharing that, sweetheart. Gemma says, speaking my truth without overanalyzing everything before. Yes, it would flow from us, wouldn't it? Really nice. Even a little improvement would be feeling of release and freedom to move forward. That's it, Kath. That's it. Just a little bit of improvement that makes all the difference. I'd like you to have a think about, when you kind of, when we go forward from here, is having a think about asking ourselves, how can I shift the needle a little bit here? How can I be a little bit more forthright? How can I be a little bit more aligned? How can I be a little bolder? How can I ask for more earlier? How can I? What are those points that are within our reach, just slightly there, but within our reach, that is ultimately going to make us feel more confident and make us feel like we're really in our lives. We're really in our life force. I think it's a really important reflective point there, because it doesn't happen overnight, but when there's a process you can follow, it's happy days, isn't it? It's happy days. We just need that boost. Okay, so I want you to keep open to that. And keep journaling on it as well. Like long after me and my gold shirt have gone away, I want you to just keep bearing that in mind and keep making yourself the promise to edge forward. I know it can feel tricky to do that on your own, But I want you to be open to that promise to edge forward, because that really is the stuff that makes life start to rearrange itself for us. And we could be in a very different point by the end of the year or in 6 months' time, or pick a time frame. You could be in a very different point. Okay, let's look at another flare. You've heard me mention this also. We've talked about self-focus, we've talked about self-confidence. Now we're on about self-worth. Now, self-worth is what I would call a biggie, right? Self-worth is a biggie. Self-worth is something which we can have a very complicated relationship with, because our self-worth is ultimately how enough we feel. It's about how enough we feel. It's how deserving of love, attention, accolades, good things, time, other people's positivity. It's how likely we are to receive those things as well. So our self-worth is a biggie. It's how enough that we feel. Now, when we believe certain things about ourselves, that will ultimately influence our self-worth. Everything can be up for grabs about what our beliefs are about ourselves, but it doesn't happen overnight, does it? So why I put a lot of focus on my work here is because I know more than I believe, I know that when your self-worth is just a little bit more pepped up, again, life not only rearranges itself, but life offers you more too. You start to see more, ask for more, even attract more, have more, and like be the right sort of people, have the right sort of things crossing your path more often. It's a really, really powerful thing that we have there. And it's one thing to want to feel enough, but it's another thing to really get there, because we all start off in life, don't we, with this full tank of self-worth. So I look at my little girl, she's 6 months and she's pinging her socks off. Don't ask me how she does it, by the way, but every so often she pings a sock off and it flies across the room. Anyway, she's pinging her socks off. She's Googling and gagaing and she's crying, and she doesn't care if we're in a good mood or not. She just is who she is. And, I was like that once, and so were you. And then as we got older, we would carry on singing and like wearing our clothes in a certain way, and, all the things that just made us feel free and enough. And then life starts to happen, doesn't it? Society gets involved. Teachers have opinions. Family members have opinions. We fall into certain social circles that have opinions, and then we end up starting to just pop layers on who we really are. I won't speak like that because someone will judge me for this. I won't go over to that person because they probably don't think I'm cool enough. And then it turns into, when we're a bit older, I won't say that, or I won't go for that because it'll never happen to me, or I'm not like them, or things like that don't happen to things like me. And that's why it's such an important job for us to be taking away those layers bit by bit as well. Taking away those layers bit by bit. Because, and I've written this down on my snazzy notes with my blue highlighter, if you don't mind. And I don't want to miss a word of this. I'm actually going to read my notes here, okay? Because my question here I've said to myself is, or said to us, how do we start to believe we are enough? Well, it's a process, isn't it? It's been a process believing that maybe we're not, right? It's a process and a loving act of kindness to ourselves that we do believe that we're enough. So something I know to be true is your belief in yourself rarely or never comes from yourself alone. So we've talked about things like childhood, culture, media, etc. And I know this is so true for me too. I had this, I've had lots of different stories in my life that have made me feel enough. But one that really struck me, because it seemed to be said a lot, and it kind of became so triggering. That's kind of like a helpful word that's used a lot at the moment, isn't it? But when I was kind of working in different workplaces before I started my own business 9 years ago, 9 years I've been in the comparison-free lane, right? Let me tell you, 9 happy years. But before then, I had a really tricky time in workplaces, and something that was said to me a lot, and other people that were kind of my age as well, was this idea of, when I was an adult, it was the idea of like, you're too nice, or you've got no, this was the big one, you've got no gravitas. And they used to say it to other people as well, but they would say, you need to work on that, you need to work on that. So it's almost like saying be better, but not really saying. So when was I too nice? All the time? Not enough. It was just very like a lot of gaslighting went on, but irrelevant whether it was meant constructively or not. It started to erode my sense of self-worth. I'm not enough. My personality is a problem. How I behave, my energy is a problem. And so that was kind of in living memory of my adulthood. When I was younger, maybe it was a case of don't show off. Don't show off. Can't you just be a bit more like, don't show off there? I used to get that a lot. And that was really tricky. So then you kind of enter the workplace and education, people are like, we'll speak up. So no wonder we're all like, we're up and down like a fiddler's elbow, aren't we? Like, not really knowing, because it's not a case of the we're not enough. It's because different messages that we have digested over time have started to erode that belief about ourselves, that we are inherently worthy, and we are inherently worthy. And I know that's true. I know that is true. Okay. So the next time you get some feedback, or you feel a bit uncomfortable, or you feel a bit awkward about being yourself, or you second guess yourself, you overanalyze, because that's what we've been discussing here in the chat, isn't it? When we second guess and overanalyze ourselves, the next time you get to there and you're starting to squash yourself, I want you to ask yourself, who taught me not to like this part of myself? Or what taught me not to like this part of myself? What experience taught me that this wasn't good enough? And it's through bringing our awareness to that. And that's a process too. There's a process as well, that we can start to peel back those layers. So I remember, speaking like my experience in different workplaces. When I started my business, I had this radio on, like, you really got the clout to be doing this, or are you sure? I think you should do another course, or should you say it? Or should you say it in this way, not that way? You should bluster up a little bit there. And then when I was giving myself a hard time, I had this moment, and it was like an epiphany moment. I was like, that's not my voice. That's not my voice. That's my boss from X time. That's not even me. And I immediately wrote it down and started to peel away the layers. So it's not enough just to notice where we might have been affected, because we'll all have our own individual stories there. What we need to do to send up that flare and feel enough, right? What we've got to do is we've got to start looking for the real truth of where we are enough. So here's your next exercise, and I bet you can even tell me something that's happened very recently. So I want you to look for evidence to the contrary of where you feel like you're not enough. So if it's a case of like, I'm too loud, I want you to remember that you were given that great feedback, that you really landed a point at work, or the fact that people might say that you you're a bit of a daydreamer, but then you're the one that comes up with the brilliant holiday plans for the family, or the brilliant holiday plans for your friends there. Okay, whatever those labels are, I know there is real truth in your life right now that actually that should be a point of pride, and it can be a strength of yours as well, because with the right thing, with the right support and with that right awareness, it is possible to keep that going. But like I say, keep a journal with you. It might even be, and we do this in the club a fair bit, that you can keep a journal even every day, looking for that evidence and writing down that evidence of how you are enough. And if you are open to it, it's easier than it might seem, actually. It's easier than it might seem. And before you know it, the layers start coming away. And you'll know it's happening because it happens in things like, I think I will have a go, or I think I will apply for that, or I think maybe I will accept that invitation, or I think I will say what I really think here. It may not even be very, very uber confident, but it's that knowing that I'm enough to see it through. It's enough to say, I'll put myself forward. I'll receive that. I'm going to let that land with me. Lovely to see these comments coming. Someone said here, I think my low self-worth stems from school, where I got told I'd never be a high achiever because I'm dyslexic. God, what has the school system been? I can only see Facebook users, so I'm not sure what age you are, sweetheart, but when we look at what the school system used to be, I'm amazed that any of us have made it at all. So I am so sorry that you had that experience, and I know that you'll have other. I know that when it comes to your dyslexia, you'll still be a brilliant expresser. You'll still be a brilliant expresser. Don't you dare let that layer stay. We need to unpeel that. Um, Lorna says, my late mum, God bless her, once overheard someone say, that Glenda likes herself a bit. And she strutted over and said, damn right I do, darlings. Big Glenda energy. Oh, I love that, Lorna. Yeah, I love it. You say it like it's a bad thing. Rachel, constantly told I'm too nice, but I think that's a great thing. Absolutely, Rachel. That tells me you are a great friend, that you're a safe space for people, that you are kind, that you make a place warmer. Shana says, I've always been told I'm too sensitive, but I see that as a power now. It means I can empathise with others and understand lots of viewpoints. Absolutely. And also, Shana, it's about nuance as well, isn't it? You're able to pick up on what's said and what's not said. Such a strength in any space. That is such a strength. Yeah, and we'll all have these different experiences that we can come from, that we can use them. Sometimes they will power us forward, but for the ones that don't, that's when we need to be really careful, because one of the bestest, brightest flares in the sky is you when you are feeling enough. And when you are into your self-worth. So that is your homework. That's your bit of homework, is to look at what are those beliefs that you might have about yourself? Where do they potentially come from? And where is the evidence to the contrary? Where that actually signposts to you that you are enough as you are, perfectly and rightfully imperfect as you currently are. And it's about being really conscious about going on that journey to peel away the layers, okay? To peel away the layers. Now, I said to you in my email this morning, that's something that I firmly believe, is that it is safe for it to be your turn. It's safe for it to be your turn when it comes to wanting more, asking for more, feeling more in all the good ways, keeping those cobwebs dusted off. And I mentioned at the beginning that, well, normally this might be, we're getting to about half an hour here and I won't keep you for much longer, of that you can be sure, but normally this might be where my training would end. But I asked you at the beginning if it'd be all right if I could share with you how we can keep things going, how we can stick together and stay in this energy of positive, good mood momentum. And that's why it's not just my shirt that I want to show off with you today. No, it's not just my shirt I want to show off with you today. I've got a few sassy slides I just want to share with you here, because I'm really, really excited to be bringing you this exclusive look. So one moment, I'm going to drive over to my screen share. You just wait till you see this, because you thought my shirt was a bit full on, right? You thought my shirt was a bit full on. You just wait until you see this. I sincerely hope that you are sitting comfortably, because I'm about to make my big reveal. And here it is. Here it is, my brand new look, a new platform, a new format, comparison-free club. Come on in, babes, okay? Come on in. I've got a few snazzy slides that I'm really looking forward to sharing with you here, because I've had this very special space for about a year now, and we have completely breathed the most fresh air into it, including this vibrant new look. So come on in, babe. The doors are open. Let me show you around. What's inside? Well, this is something that is very, very close to my heart, and something that I'm known for, because it's one of the solutions to the big comparison problem. And that is that a big part of my membership is access to my 5-part course, which is called Core. Hundreds of people have taken this now, and they've been able to increase their self-focus, increase their self-confidence, and increase their self-worth, so they can really, really channel that life force and boost it right up into the sky. Okay, but that's not it. Let me take you in. Let me take you inside Core. Like I say, it's got 5 parts, and it will guide you through gentle discovery. It will then provide really digestible exercises, very tangible results, so you can really move through them, like I've said here, to activate you, yourself, your whole self, and then really live it, get it into your habits, keep it going, not worry about stopping and starting or anything like that. And then as well, how to keep going and get to that next level and make time for rest as well. I am so proud of this work in core, and it is my absolute pleasure that I've been able to contain it in the membership and give people a really clear pathway to success with loads of support, with absolutely loads of support too, because my goodness me, this being a human being on your own is not for the faint-hearted, is it? Let me share with you what else is in store. This is a little bit tiny, isn't it? It's a little bit tiny. So let me first share with you with my little pal here, Shackleton, who's my dog that doesn't bark. Comparison Free Club is the only place where you can receive direct and specific content and coaching from me. Yeah, so that's it. This is really my heart space. And through this monthly membership, I've been able to really bring my big BSE loosiness in a very OTT way, sometimes with barking dogs. What's really special about this new evolution of the club as well is that every quarter we're going to have 2 powerhouse guests. So we're not having monthly guests because this is about you and your progress and me making sure that you achieve what you want to, because I take my role at BSC very, very seriously indeed. Now, I wanted to be able to announce the first powerhouse guest with you for tonight, but we are having conversations with their agent. They're like, you just hold off. We've got to get this diary sorted. They're booked months, sometimes years in advance. So when I say to you, this is someone with a national profile that is about to be in Comparison Free Club, I waited. So my God, I want to tell you it so badly, but I'll get so told off, so I'm not going to. But there are 2 powerhouse guests every quarter, and you'll get a chance to ask them your questions and be in an intimate space with them as well. When you join today, so you'll not only get all of me and get the guest as well, but you'll get access to all of our archive there, including leading experts like Dr. Soph and Persia Lawson. We have some incredible deep dive modules that are very digestible in there too, including how to trust the timing of your life. So if you've been struggling with comparing your life milestones to other people's, that's one for you. Also, how to stop comparing yourself to who you used to be, which is something that so many of us experience. There's a special module there. We also have meditations and other supporting materials. But let me tell you what the focus of the work is over our time together. Like I said, that's tiny, so I'll just refresh. Access to Core, which is my 5-part program. There is a content drop on the 1st of every month. So what that is, a mini workshop from me, which goes really deep on an area of curing comparison. So you're gobbling that up and using it too. And there's also, which is brand new and bringing you BBE, there's a podcast style audio workshop with myself, Lucy, and the Comparison Free Club community champion, the one and only Benny Young, who's free to be young on Instagram. I know he's a massive favorite. Benny is our community champion, and we're going to be recording these exclusive podcasts to help you go deeper on your comparison-free journey, but also have a bit of a laugh along the way as well. It's through the explanation and the sharing of our experiences, we get to get an inside track of how we can be more ourselves and get there quicker too. There are 2 live calls with me every month as well. The first one is Soul Goal Power Hour. If that doesn't sound delicious, I don't know what does. Soul Goal Power Hour. This is for a whole hour. We come together and we have time with our soul. There is journaling, there's meditation, there's guidance, there's real life, deep conversation that is incredibly transformational even on its own. Because I'm not the only one powering this. It's our community as well. Incredible community in our membership is like something I have never seen or experienced before. We have a special group off Facebook. It's on a really snazzy special app called Mighty Networks, and it is a most encouraging, vibrant space. So you don't have to worry about loads of ads or seeing people posting loads of different pictures. You're struggling to get to the group you want to, where it's fast moving, can't keep up. No, it's an absolute oasis of calm for you to bring your wins, bring your issues, bring your feelings, bring your breakthroughs, and be cheered on by people that really, really, really get it. And this is what people like you have had to say about a comparison-free club. There are so many reviews and testimonials that we could choose, but I challenge myself to pick some of my favourites. And this is what the difference has been felt by people like you that have joined Comparison Free Club. So I feel so supported, and logging into the club feels like entering a cozy, welcoming retreat. I'm so grateful for Comparison Free Club. I genuinely feel listened to, and like I have a form of access to ask Lucy questions. For me, that is what makes it stand out from all the other clubs out there, where I feel like there's very little access to the coach. I am on call, babes. You better believe it. Comparison Free Club is life-changing. I'd like to thank you for everything you put into it and for sharing with us your own journey and practicing what you preach, Lucy. I feel really lucky to have found the club. And a last one I'll leave you with, even though I want to read out all these. It's the best membership I've ever been part of. So please keep doing what you're doing. Well, babes, we'll take that invitation. We surely will. Okay. So I've given you a bit of a taster, but let me make let me explain a little bit further so that you can know if it's for you. So Comparison Free Club is for you if you want to stay in this feeling that we have been able to achieve this week. Go deeper and build on what you know is possible for you. It's also for you if you want to get out of the stop-start. You want to be feeling okay. You want to achieve flow. We all need someone in our corner. We all need someone in our corner. And I am ready to be that person. It's also for you if you want to stop wasting your precious time, whether it's on obsessing over that person that's been triggering your comparison, or getting caught up in nostalgia and how things used to be, not able to take action today. Perhaps if you compare yourself to an ideal you need to be really careful and get yourself out of this should space about what you should be doing and forget all of that triggering, heavy energy and come back here and come back to now and get excited about your path and get excited about your progress as well, because you're never ever going to feel left behind or you're not good enough with me, babe. And that let me tell you that is absolutely the truth. We've got loads of proof that can be true for you as well. It's for you if you want to have somewhere to belong. It's not unusual that I would post into the club, and it would be a case of posting to the club, and it'd be a case of sharing something about a book that I've read, or that what someone had just said to me that really helped me, or I'm in there kind of chatting with other people and sharing dog pictures. So there's a lovely social aspect to it as well. But I feel like I belong. I feel like I can confide and share what's going on for me on kind of those darker times, as well as share my breakthroughs as well first, share lots more than I ever necessarily would on social media, because it's a safe space. It really is a safe space. And it's for you as well if you want to know and trust deeply in yourself, feel worthy and enough and ready to go after exactly what you want for your reasons. Big promises that I'm making here, but I know these to be true because I have seen what is possible when people come into my energy, they come into the group and they have an element of, right, let's begin. And that's what I'm asking you to come forward with this. Okay, let's begin, because I can do the rest. I can show you the rest. So how to join them? All right, I can't see the chat box at the moment because I'm driving the screen share, but I know I've got some trusted pals that are going to be sharing the link with you if you'd like to join. Because there are a few different ways that you can choose. So it's a 6-month journey initially with Comparison Free Club across the board. That's an important update we've made, because that's what we know is going to be most powerful. And we're not into half results and half measures. No way. So you can join monthly for £33 a month for 6 months, or you could choose a one pay and join for 6 months for 149. That's normally 198. Or you could join for the year, take you right through to next June. And that's magic numbers 333, and with a really lovely saving there as well. So I'm going to ask my lovely pals to pop up the link to see our brand new information page as well, which is on this brilliant teaching platform called Kajabi. So as soon as you sign up, you will get your login. And let me just tickle your tummy as well with what else is on offer. If you do choose one of the one pay options that I've just taken you through on the slide before. So when you choose to come in for 6-month one pay or the annual one pay, there are going to be some exclusive bonuses that you're going to receive. Now, I must say, these do disappear on Monday, my darlings. They do disappear on Monday. But here's what's on offer. There's going to be a live Meet Your True You Spirit Guide meditation that I'm going to lead. I'm going to lead this special, deeply soulful session where you will connect with your true you guide in that moment. It's a really beautiful transformation session I'll record and you get to keep. You'll get access to a Know Your Life Purpose workshop that I'll be leading as well. Understanding who we are, what motivates us, what is our purpose, why are we here, can be something which can take us a whole lifetime. We haven't got that long. I'm going to be sharing with you the Know Your Life Purpose workshop as in the kind of first month or so of coming into Comparison Free Club as well. So how's that for getting aligned for not just the rest of the year, but for life? There's going to be a comparison free party. So we're going to be doing a live event before Christmas. And so you'll get a free ticket to that real life event when you join through one of the one pays. There's a couple more things, so don't disappear just yet. As well, you'll get entered into a draw to win a private coaching session with me, which is valued at £1,000, and there's currently a 4.5 months waiting list for. There's also finally a really, really special bonus here is the No More Triggers Power Pack. The No More Triggers Power Pack, and that's an audio and journaling prompt guide, so you can say goodbye to envy, inflammation. So that's something you can have with you on your go, say on the go, save on your phone, or save it in the group for you. You can access that at any time, so that whenever you feel a bit of that hotness of comparison come up, you can come back to yourself and come back to calm. So they are some exclusive special new bonuses that are available for the one pay options for joining Comparison Free Club in its new iteration. I would love to, I feel like I've been talking for several hours and you can see me get a little bit red in the cheeks to get all excited. But if you have any questions about the club, about Comparison Free Club and joining, or how it works, or what's involved, or what the times of things are, I would love to hear from you. I'd really, really love to hear from you. So I can sit here. I can just, like I say, back with my gold shirt on now, I think. So I've turned off the screen. But if there are any questions, I am more than happy to take them. And yet, if you would like to reply to my email that I'll send later, or if you'd like to ask in the Facebook group, then I'm all ears as well. I'm absolutely all ears as well. I can see that my lovely colleagues, Benny, who's our community champion, has been sharing the link there to join in the different ways, and as has Ruthie, and there's an information page as well, which is there for you to look at. So I'm really excited about sharing this because I opened the membership about a year ago. Yeah, it was last March, and gosh, I was planning it for months and months. So much work had gone into it in the year before, like the whole year of planning at least, before I actually opened it last March. And then from there, it has been thriving, and we've made updates, and we have made sure that we are staying really, really with our finger on the pulse of the of what people need and want, and we're very, very flexible. Also, someone said, will the course or workshop live on Kajabi too, or Mighty Networks? The course and the learning content, excellent question. Course or the learning content will be on Kajabi, and the Mighty Networks group is on its own. It's just for social, just for discussion, just makes updating things a bit easier. So I hope that answers that question. Someone's saying they can't see the link, so we will try and attend to that. Thanks, Shelley. We'll try and attend to that, and hopefully the information page will be coming up here too. I wonder if there's an update on that, because that's the link I was expecting to see. Okay, yeah, so yeah, we have 2 calls a month. One is a soul goal power hour, which is like meditation and journaling, and we have breakout rooms for those that would like to be in the breakout rooms, and one is the Q&A with me. So how that works is it's not like spot coaching where you've got to be there to get my advice. Oh, no. Oh, no, no. You submit a question anonymously if you like, and then I take on the question in the session. You can be there chatting to me if you like, but you don't have to be. You'll still get my undivided attention. You will get my absolutely key guidance ultimately on what the answer to your question is, but you don't have to be live there, and it doesn't have to, you don't have to be coming on camera or anything like that. So you could be getting my kind of coaching all the way through the month, And Shana, who's actually one of our lovely members, has said, yes, it's online, so you can jump into the Mighty Network group whenever you feel like, and the course content is also online. So yes, that's all in Kajabi. Are there any more questions? Please let me know. Please let me know. And we will get right back to you. Or equally, like I say, I'm on my email. So if you've got any questions, you can let me know that way. But it looks like that might be the end of questions. I hope you have I sincerely hope that you have really, really enjoyed the these sessions of us being together. I made a promise of really answering that phrase of, when it comes to like, what is it? Comparison is the thief of joy. I made the promise to really set out to, no, we're taking our joy back. Nobody steals my joy. And I really, really hope that over the course of this week, you have felt your joy be activated. You've remembered a little bit more about who you are and what you've done. I also hope that you know it doesn't have to end here, and that we can keep going, and that I'm going to be sticking around, and I hope that you are too. Someone's asked here, is Comparison Free Club just for business or personal? I find that members apply it to all areas of their life they need to. And when it comes to that coaching with Lucy, any question at all is welcome. So someone might ask me, oh, Lucy, part of my goals is to have a book. How did you get your book deal? Or Lucy, I really want to grow my business. What did you spend on this? Or what advice did you listen to? So it's very much about, when you bring the filter, the content works to help you within that filter. And I'm always around as well to make sure that we're very finely focusing the guidance that you most need ultimately. My pleasure. Okay, so I think that might be the last question. We've gone for nearly an hour, so I will leave you to the rest of your evening if you're watching live. Maybe I'll go and take off my rather hot gold shirt. There's an email coming your way as well, so you can see that. But I really, really hope I can welcome you into Comparison Free Club. Something I must highlight is that we are going to be closing enrollment a week on Friday. Be closing enrollment a week on Friday. I will hopefully have been able to confirm who our VIP guest is by then, and finished our conversations with their agents. But oh, hi Shaki. But we are closing enrollment on Friday. So if you don't join before then, it's going to be the deepest, darkest winter before we open again. It will be kind of November and December time. So please do come on in, because there's plenty of room for you, and I cannot wait to welcome you, give you my BSc, and also Shaki would like to say hello as well. How many memberships do you know? They've got a couple of golden retrievers. All right, I will see you in Comparison Free Club. And for now, loving you from here. Take care.